What do all of these hit songs have in common?
Is it just our bodies? Are we both losing our minds? If you're ready, heart is open, I'll be waiting. Come find me if you're certain.
I don't want your body, but I hate to think about you with somebody else.
Yes, they all use the same 4 chords. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the 4 chords that every producer or songwriter needs to create hit songs, plus how to vary them and take them to the next level to create professional level keyboard parts right inside the DAW coming up. So let's jump straight into it. So you may have heard me talk before about the chords that are all inside the key, which are displayed in Roman numerals. I like to call this the scale of chords. And these are the most common chords used in pop songs. But even though there's 7 to choose from, 4 of them are the most popular to be used in hit tracks. And these 4 chords are always chord 1, chord 4, chord 5, and chord 6. So if you were having these chords in the key of C, it would be C, F, G, and A minor. And these are the hit makers. These are the chords that are used in so many pop songs, it's unbelievable. In fact, there was a study done by Hook Theory where they studied thousands of hit tracks, and the most popular chords when transposing all of the chords into C major was C, F, and G, the major chords, and then the 4th most popular one on the graph there, A minor. So what you want to do is just create a foundation with those root position chords first. I am going to show you how I would approach changing those in a minute. And once you've chosen 4 chords, you've then got the foundations of a hit pop song. So if you want to swipe some of these hit chord progressions using these 4 chords I've just been talking about, then definitely check out the progression cheat sheet, a free PDF guide that I've made for you. So definitely click that in the link in the description below and feel free to have that as my gift to you. Now, once you've chosen 4 chords that you like the sound of and you're starting to get a bit of a hit chord progression together that you like, then it's time to start taking these chords into the DAW and experimenting with different ways of changing them, creating different sounds and trying to build a track around them. So let's jump into Logic Pro X so I can show you how to do this yourself. So let's choose 4 chords that can be the foundation of our chord progression for this track. For example, I could go F, A minor, G. Nice and simple. Or maybe I go F, A minor, G. Then maybe F, C, G. Right, that is the foundation of the track that I'm going to build. Now, this is where it gets very interesting because you've got the foundation of the chords so far, and now you can actually go in and start changing the sounds, start changing the way you voice the chords, maybe use some pedal notes, slash chords, rhythm patterns, improvised patterns over the top. And this is where it gets really, really fun. And this is why I've targeted specifically the key of C, so you can see how much easier it is to just use the white keys. So let's go for, let's try this Juno ARP sound. It's a pretty cool one. I'll just switch to the action cam so you can see what I'm playing. So I'm going to use a voicing trick in the left hand called root 5th 10th. This is basically where you take the chord that you had, take the 3rd and put it at the top. Hence the name root 5th 10th. It's the 10th note of the scale. Now the right hand, let's try a root and a 5th. So for example, I'll play a C and a G. Much more open kind of sound to it. And then maybe let's add some rhythm to the right hand as well. So. I quite like that. Quite like that little riff there. So I quite like the sound of that. Let's just record that in, yeah. Okay, for Just a little 8-bar thing there. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's maybe add a bass in. And then obviously I can mess with it after I've recorded it. Here we go. Go, that sounded pretty cool. So that gives it a nice vibe to it. So let's add in looping piano signal. This is the Signal VST by Output. Absolutely amazing. I have done a review on this plugin. So if you are interested, I'll link that in the YouTube description and the YouTube card. I might change the voicing again. So again, I'm using open roots and fifths for this as well. Really nice sound. But I am adding a little B in there, which is a little bit dissonant. It's a little bit clashy, but I like the sound of that, especially when you add the G in. So I'm basically just playing open roots and fifths. Then when I get to a G chord or a chord that's got a B or a G in it, I'll just stick that B there. So just a bit more experimentation, but the rhythm that time is being provided for by the synth. Right, here we go. Yeah, nice and subtle. It's just basically adding an extra layer to that original lost part. And maybe I'll add some bass into this second half, just using some root notes. Again, using the signal. Nice bass on us. Subby bass. Swapping the A for the C. So again, I'm just using 4 chords, but I'm voicing them differently. Right, so let's add some choir in there. And I know what you're thinking, choir, Mike, what are you talking about adding a choir to this track? But I'm going for that kind of Ghost Stories, Coldplay type vibe with this. So I definitely want a nice choir in there, but I've put a plugin called Kickstart, which is an amazing plugin, which creates that kind of like side chaining thing with it. Really ambient, really cool sound. So I'll show you what I'm doing with that. So basically I'm playing the same chords, but instead of playing them in root position, I'm playing them as an inversion. There, second inversion of A. A C with an A in the bass. Really cool sound. Now that's called a slash chord. So I've got a C chord there, but it's not got a C in the bass, it's got A in the bass. So that's a slash chord. Then I play a G, and then I'll add that C in. That's a G, add 11 chord. Now you don't really need to worry too much about what I'm doing here, but I'm just showing you kind of what's possible if you change the inversions and add extra notes and slash chords and all these different things. If you are interested in learning all of this, definitely check out some of the extra videos that I've linked in the description that go more deep on these topics. And it'll come in with those chords. The sound of that, maybe it's a little bit loud, maybe I want it more as a background thing, but maybe I could put a beat in there as well, maybe like a synth pad sound maybe. Oh yeah, Juno pad. Now I'm thinking about adding push chords in here where you play the chord early. Yeah, I like the sound of that. So, so bright, because the that's getting in the way a little bit, so let's make it less bright. Let's definitely record that in so you can hear how it's going to sound. F major 7. Yeah, really like that, really like that. Then I'll add a beat to it. Let's try for 80 or something. Okay, let's... Now there's my sort of bass from a track idea. All using keyboard skills in the key of C, always in the same 4 chords, and then I can just maybe improvise on the top of that. You know, so what I do at this point is maybe loop from there, and then just have a go improvising the piano. So I'll play it from the beginning and then I'll come in maybe with a more subtle piano part, maybe lower down the keys, and then a higher one. I was just improvising this with a bit of melodic chords on the top. A bit higher. Yeah, and there you have it. There is an idea already just using those 4 chords. So it was F, A minor, G, repeater F, C, G. So you can see that if you try to do this in the MIDI piano roll, and you were just using your pencil, you were trying to draw these notes in, it would take you absolutely hours to get something that sounded this human, this realistic. And you saw how quickly I put that together there. It was just with a little bit of chord knowledge about those 4 chords, starting with the foundational chord progression, which you use any chord progression you like, just using root chords. And then it's about how do you change that into something else? How do you change that from just a basic, boring chord progression it starts as, into something that sounds emotional, engaging, human, just like that. So if you are interested in taking this to the next level, then I've made a playlist for you detailing all of these different types of tricks that I did. So there's all sorts of things about voicing, there's all sorts of things about different piano chord rhythm patterns, and I've made that playlist and I've dropped it below this video. So definitely check out that playlist now. Or if you want to watch another Fast Track Keys video, click or tap the screen. Smash like and subscribe if you got value, and I will see you in the next video.